And I think it was a bit of a shock. It certainly got a big reaction where I was, Matt. I tell you, it was one of the biggest pops in the entire night. Is when it went all black and that music started to come on, and I thought, hang on, I must be either really drunk or I'm not I'm not focusing enough now at this point of the night. I'm too sleepy. But no, it wasn't. It was Finn Balor coming out as the demon Finn Balor. And, again, for some reason people... I had a lot of hate emails for this, believe it or not, Matt, saying that it was far too quick. But, I tell you what, I'll take the squash match over seeing normal Finn Balor up against Baron Corbin for 20 minutes. And, going back and forth and Finn Balor maybe just about winning or whatever. I'd rather this happen. This does more for him than that's for sure. So I did not have a problem with him squashing comfortable Baron Corbin, because at this point, let's be honest here, make no mistake, Baron Corbin, he's not in any place at the minute to do anything amazing. So I was more than happy that Finn Balor won the way he did. I did not have a problem that he was quick out the mark. I think the fans were well into it. And sometimes you want them leaving, like wanting more. So I was more than happy about this, Matt. What about you?
Oh, this is why I'm glad that we don't talk about these things before we actually come on air and start talking about it, because people can actually see that we don't always agree.
No.
I was not a fan of this. And maybe this is the way that WWE booked Finn Balor, because when he came to NXT, I wasn't sold, and then he proved himself, and I was a big fan of Finn Balor. Then he got called to the main roster, and I was loving it, and then he had his injury, and he wasn't booked right, and then I wasn't liking it. But it just feels like, like many people, like you said, have emailed in, it was really sudden. And the way the commentary team dealt with this really didn't help. Like the way Michael Cole was saying stuff like, he only brings out the demon character when he truly needs it. Does he truly need it against Constable Baron Corbin in a match that he wins nothing at? And he's already beaten Baron Corbin, as we may say, as Finn Balor, the normal guy. So why did he need to crank the dial up and take it up a notch? It really didn't. And at the end of it, when they said, he beat Finn Balor, he beat Baron Corbin so emphatically because he was the demon. No, it just kind of makes you feel like, well, maybe Baron Corbin just really isn't that great then, because we've seen loads of people fight the demon and they lasted longer than 2 minutes, to be sure.
Yeah. Well, now, I take your point from that. From my perspective, I saw it more as a SummerSlam spectacle more than anything else. I think that's where I was coming from on it. Again, take Matt's point. I don't think he needed this for a guy like Baron Corbin, quite frankly. However, it's almost like Vince has maybe listened to our podcast from the preview, because, Finn Balor as the demon character hasn't been beaten. There is something to be said for that. Now, whether this is the start of Finn Balor coming back, doing this on pay-per-views only would be nice. At least some of the big ones I would be all for. Because, when he wears all that stuff, and I know it is ridiculous, and by the way, the commentating for it was stupid. I've got loads of notes down about that. I don't know who it was. It was either Corey or, what's it, Saxon, but someone said, call Dr. Venkman. Stuff like that. I was like, what? Yeah, he's a different character. I've never seen why, but now I'm seeing him, coaching was I've never seen him in person, but now I can see why. He's so different. I was like, this is getting beyond stupid. They always overdo things, to say the least, on all this. But the fans, there was a big chant. This was awesome. This, to me, if anything, Matt, I mean, it surely, hopefully Vince hears that and goes, this people want to see that. They don't want to see grinning Finn Balor smiling at everybody with putting his collar up of the coat when he comes down. They would rather see this, and I think from a character standpoint, let's hope, because I for a while thought maybe WWE is just done with the demon character, maybe we'll never see it again. So the fact that it's back, to me, at least this gives Finn Balor something, because now the interesting thing is now, Matt, and I'm getting ahead of myself here, but Finn Balor is the Demon character. You can believe that he could win a title more than just Finn Balor could, because those announcers, all they keep going on about when Finn Balor's in the ring is how small he is all the time, which really bothers me, because I'm like, that is doing him no world of good. They're like, oh, he's a great wrestler, but you know, he's size all the time. But you know, as the Demon character, I think you can believe that there is something there that he can win it. And again, it was only a couple of years ago, Matt, that he did win the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. So it was a nice to see him. Whether it was just, you know, that New York fan base, maybe they thought that's the right time to do it. You know, again, I would have probably saved this for another point, but I'd much rather see him come out as this. I'm talking about it, I'm sure, more than I would have been had it just been the normal Finn Balor type match, to be honest with you. Which, you know, really I couldn't be bothered with one way or the other. So, yeah, hard to score this. Obviously, 1 minute 30 seconds. Again, I'm going to go NA here. You can't really do it. Matt, are you the same with that one?
Yeah, pretty much. And I hope that they sort of do continue this, because it used to be the case in NXT. When it came to a pay-per-view, it was just a given that the Demon was going to turn up and it wasn't going to be Finn Balor. But much like you said a minute ago, the main thing I love about the Demon character is he does not smile. I mean, that's the main thing I noticed when I saw it. I was like, wow, he's being serious.
I want to see that more. Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. Jimbo, Wrestler Squad number 9's just got in touch with us. Matt, he's listening to us live, by the way. He's been in for about the last 40 minutes listening to us. And when we was talking about the Charlotte, apparently there's a statistic. This is from Jimbo, so I'll believe it until otherwise. But he says that she's never lost a triple threat match, Matt, apparently. And he thought that. Yeah, he did email us that actually, but he didn't get it in time for our preview show. But he wanted to tell us that because he had odds-on favourite for Charlotte because of that statistic. But it's not something I really delved into. So there you go, Jimbo. He's a good stats man, obviously. So keep them coming.
Sounds like a statistic Scott Steiner would be proud of.
Yeah.
Charlotte's in a match. He's got a 66% chance, not a 33% chance.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Now, next, we get the... completely forgot about this. At this point, you're like, you know, are we getting to the main event? No, we're not, because we've got the WWE United States Championship match. Shinsuke Nakamura coming out up against Jeff Hardy. I've got in my notes here, did I ever think there'd be a time where Jeff Hardy wasn't the most exciting one in the ring? It certainly did feel like that a little bit last night. Where I was a little bit more into Shinsuke Nakamura being a little bit more exciting. But then, you know, you hear Jeff, Matt, he's always on about his injuries and he's saying, you know, I'm not going to do the Swanton Bomb now as much and I'm not doing them at live events. And then all of a sudden he does it on the side of the ring apron. You're like, why did he need to do that? You know, crazy bump really, considering all the injuries he's already got. You know, you're hearing about all these new things as well. Kind of thinking to myself, this isn't the sort of match that... I know it's a SummerSlam and, you know, it's a Shinsuke Nakamura, but still, did he really need to do that? You know, I think he does have to be a bit more careful going forward here. But, yeah, this match... It was what it was. It was a bit of filler by this point, I think. I think these two kind of probably knew that before they went out. Again, it wasn't a total squash like some of these other matches, but just under 11 minutes. Again, I liked everything Nakamura was doing here. I did feel like he come across well. I liked the little bits from Jeff Hardy, but it's difficult, you know, because you can only... get so much. I think this is one of those times, Matt, where this match probably shouldn't have been at SummerSlam. Like, this could have done another time, you know, like further down the line on another pay-per-view, or maybe just the main event of a SmackDown. I don't know, but it just didn't. It was missing something for me of that sort of importance, and at no point did I really feel like Jeff was winning this. To be quite honest with you, I know that there was that story the story they're trying to tell about the low blow thing again. I'm like, I can't come up with anything else for Nakamura other than this all the time. Like, how many more times we're going to see him trying to attempt the low blow thing? It's getting a bit ridiculous now. But Matt, what did you make of the match and score this one?
You know, I just jump straight into this one and say it was a solid 3 stars. You know, this could have been on a SmackDown, could have been on any pay-per-view. It was no more than it needed to be and no less. But much like you said, Nakamura came across really well. I felt like it was a bit more of the old Nakamura we were seeing here. His charisma was good, and at times he was making Jeff Hardy look a little bit lazy in the ring. I mean, I don't want to say it, don't want to be harsh or anything, but Jeff Hardy is getting a bit slower, and you know, Nakamura was kind of carrying the thing at times. And so you know, I appreciate the hard work that they both put in, but Nakamura definitely was shining a little brighter that night. And maybe something that you was going to bring up in a minute, but if we do get onto the subject of Randy Orton, like, what is going on with that guy? I mean, we see him coming down to the ring, and I don't want to say it, but the night beforehand on SmackDown, when he's sort of lurking behind the curtain, if I was going to use any words to sort of sum up Randy Orton right now, I think the furthest from anyone's mind they should be trying to get from is the word creep. He's just creeping around. You don't want him to be labelled a creep right now.
Well, let me just sum the match up. I'm giving this 2.5. Just missing something for me. But, you know, nothing really done that bad. And obviously there was that big bump in it. So Jeff's efforts didn't go to waste. But then after this, you thought this Randy Orton bit... First of all, the music comes on, and to be honest with you, Matt, they didn't get a massive pop for it. It wasn't like, yeah. And this, you know, I just said that match was SmackDown quality. Well, this thing, it felt like this was a SmackDown type incident where, you know, you could see this happening just before the commercial. Like, why has Randy come out? Let's get people talking. But to put it on a pay-per-view was just like, why? Just to use another guy up you call Randy Orton to sit around backstage at SummerSlam just to do that. I mean, honestly, you could have done a video or something and put it on the Titantron better than that. Yeah, I would have just left it. I mean, I really thought it was stupid. I know that they can say, oh, it's more original, the fact he didn't go down and attack him. You know, it's more mysterious. But, man, you've seen it all before. I felt it was terrible. I mean... All right, you don't want to get him pops by him going down and doing RKOs because you know that fans are going to be into that. So if he's a heel, you don't want that. But I would have just left it off completely. I don't get what any of that meant. And like Matt said, it's in this at the moment, it's the wrong time for him to be doing this. It's almost like there's an internal laugh between the writers all of a sudden. You know, no, just do that now.
It's almost like he was getting down to the ring, and then the referee sort of pointed his watch and was like, no, Randy, there's no time.
Yeah, back up you go. Yeah, it's a bit like the Elias spot. You know, he should have, instead, he got a little bit out there. Bobby didn't even get on at all. So count yourself lucky there, I guess. But yeah, it was a bit odd. Can't say I really enjoyed all that. Should mention as well that before this it came on, they were hyping up the match, Matt, between Triple H and The Undertaker at the WWE Super Showdown in Australia that comes October 6th, which, by the way, is the same weekend as the Conor McGregor-Khabib match. So that should be an interesting weekend. Obviously, time difference is going to be a big thing there, so it might help us a little bit. I don't know. For the UK, but yeah, another. They're really trying to sell it to you that this is the last match between these two guys. I don't know if I believe that now, Matt. Really, after everything that happened last time at WrestleMania 29, I thought that was the end of an era. But yeah,
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, here we go again. So yeah, that brings us forward then. After that little random incident there with Randy Orton, to the WWE Raw's Women's Championship match. Of course, Alexa Bliss going out as the champion up against Rowdy Ronda Rousey. So, you know, big, lots of people, lots of outside media outlets coming into this one. For sure, was definitely there. Don't know if anyone got to see, but there was this nice bit of artwork being done for Ronda Rousey and Roddy Piper. It was kind of like a mix of the two. I think you can search it in YouTube as Canvas to Canvas, and I was really super impressed. I mean, I'm a little bit of a geek like that, but that is one piece of merch that I would love to have in my possession. But was pretty amazing stuff to watch that artist do that. And yeah, a lot of build up